Okay, for this particular trick, we have exactly 21 cards. Why do we have 21 cards? Because the name of this trick is
21.
21. Very good. So you can take a look at the cards and you can pick any one that you like. Got a good one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you can show it around. I know you have a lot of spectators with you. Yeah, very nice. Okay, good. And you can drop it back in there. Fabulous. Okay, you remember your card, right?
Yes.
That's very important. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to deal the cards down into 3 piles, okay? And after I deal them out, I'm going to show you each pile. And all I want you to do is tell me if you see your card, okay? Don't tell me what your card is. Just tell me if you see it, okay? Start with this one over here. Do you see your card in that group?
No.
You do not. How about here? Do you see your group?
Yes.
Oh, you do. It is there. Okay, fabulous. All right, let's try that again. I'm going to deal them down into 3 piles. After I'm done, I will show you each pile. Don't tell me what your card is. Just tell me if you see it. Okay. Before it was in the middle pile. Let's try that again.
Yes.
How about that? That's fabulous. One last time. I'm going to deal the cards down to 3 piles. But this time we're going to do something a little bit different, okay? I'm going to ask you to point to any 2 of the piles. Which 2? These 2? Okay. And now point to one of the piles. This one? Okay. I'll deal the cards out here, like so. And now I would like you to point to any 4 of those cards. Top 4? Okay. And now point to any 2 of them. These 2? Okay. And lastly, point to 1. This one? Okay. You remember what your card was?
2 of diamonds.
Look at that. Well done. I know what you're thinking. Not another video on the card trick 21. Yes, another video. For several reasons. One, as you saw from the performance, I performed the trick with each pile and the cards being face down. Okay, almost everybody else performs the trick with the cards face up in several piles such as this. Okay, I think it adds to the mystery that the cards are face down. Okay, if the cards are face up like this, then the magician sees the cards in that pile. The way I perform it, of course, I'm showing the cards to the spectator, but I'm not seeing them myself. So I think that adds to the trick. Also, almost everyone else who does the trick 21 deals the cards out 4 times. 4 times. You'll notice that when I did it, I only did it 3 times because there is a shortcut, which I'll share with you in a minute, which will allow you to do it only 3 times. And that's actually pretty important because tricks like this tend to be a little bit tedious and your audience can get a little impatient with the constant dealing down. So anything you can do to make that process faster, such as dealing the cards out as quickly as you can for one, but also in this case only dealing them 3 times instead of 4 is going to make your audience happier. Okay. And then the third reason I'm making the video is because I add a little twist at the end, which also most people don't do. Now, in this performance, it was just my wife and I didn't have a third person to kind of add to the drama. But I'll explain in a minute how bringing in a third person who hasn't been privy to any of the trick can make it even stronger. Okay. But let's talk again about dealing the cards 3 times instead of 4. Okay. When my wife took the card and I told her to put it back in the group, you may have noticed that I forced her to put it back towards the middle. Okay. I did that by covering up the first 6 cards and also covering up the last 6 cards. So in effect, she was forced to insert the card towards the middle of the group. Okay? Why am I having her do that? Well, if she puts the card in the middle section, okay, and you'll see in a moment, I have a printout for you that'll show you exactly how many times you need to deal the cards out depending on where the card is inserted into the fan, okay? But if the participant inserts the card towards the center, you can get by with just 3 deals instead of 4, okay? Basically, what we're talking about is this. Here's a little printout I made, 21 card trick and all the different positions. Position number 1 would be them putting their card on top of the other 20 cards. Position 21 would be at the bottom of the deck, okay? As you can see, I've highlighted positions 7 through 15. This is the range within which you want them to insert their card. So you cover up cards 1 through 6, you cover up the bottom 6 cards, you force them to insert it towards the center. Now, occasionally you will get the person who will want to kind of fight you on it, and they'll be, they'll take their card and they'll kind of want to come down here and kind of force it in, right? So again, that's why you want to cover up those first 6 cards, cover up those last 6 cards, and really force them to put it in the middle. Okay. Another little trick that you can do is you close the distance on them when you're holding the fan. So they're going to insert the card, right? You don't let them come all the way and decide, right? So they hold out the card and you bring the cards to them. And that really forces them to put it towards the center. Okay. As long as they insert it so that their card is either the 7th card from the top or the 15th card from the top, anywhere in this range, you can get by with, as you can see, 3rd deal, you can get by with just 3 deals. M4 means that their card will be in the middle pile, 4th from the top. Okay. Another way of looking at it is their card will be the 11th card from the top when you're done. Okay. Just kind of an interesting little note here. When my wife inserted her card, she actually put it exactly in the center. Her chosen card was position 11, which is pretty rare. Now, how do I know that her card was position 11? Well, the reason I know is because if you noticed, when I showed her the 3 piles, her card was in the middle pile, not just once, but twice in a row. And as you can see from these other positions here, okay, M3 means middle, 3rd from the top, okay? But look at the 2nd deal. It then hops over to the left pile, okay? This one here says middle 5, but you'll notice it hops for the 2nd deal to the right pile, okay? Only position 11 has it in the middle twice in a row, M4. Now, I didn't put M4 here or M4 here because once it's in the middle, 4th from the top, it's going to stay there. In other words, once it's in exactly the center card, the 11th card, out of the 21, once it's in the center, it's not going to move, okay? And that's our goal, is to get it there. So have them inserted between 7 through 15, and you can get by with just 3 deals, okay? Now comes the last little bit. This trick, as you may already know, is a math-based trick. Each time you collect the chosen pile, okay, you are taking their card. Okay, let's say I show the cards, right? Let's say it's in this pile, okay? Each time I take the pile with their card and I put it in the middle. Then I deal out the cards again, 7, 7, and 7. Not like that, of course. And I say, where is your card? If it's here, where am I going to put it? Again, I put it back in the middle, okay? Each time it goes in the middle. After you've done that twice, their card will be in exactly the middle, the 11th card from the top, okay? But as you deal out the cards into those 3 piles, okay, it means that their card will be the 4th card from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. That will be their card, okay? And of course, there would be 7 in each of these piles, okay? 4th from the top. Okay, so let's have our 7 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then another 7 here. Okay. Now we come to the end. We know there are cards in the middle pile. Now we use a little bit of magician trickery called the magician's choice. Magician's choice in this case is I ask them to point to two piles, okay? If they point to these two piles, that's the perfect situation, okay? Because I'm going to remove both of those because I know their card is in the middle, fourth from the top, okay? That almost never happens. They'll almost always point to either these two or these two. It doesn't matter. Let's say they point to these two. What am I going to remove? Well, this one, of course, okay? That's why it's called magician's choice. I have the choice of either taking or leaving the cards. Now I say point to one. Again, it doesn't matter which one they point to. If they point to this one, I'm removing this one. If they point to this one, I'm removing that one. Okay? Seems obvious. Seems like you would get caught on doing it, but as long as you do it fast, they don't catch on. Now I come to my middle pile, right? Their card is fourth from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say it's the king of diamonds, okay? Now I deal out the cards into, deal out the 7 cards. I like to do 4 across and then 3 underneath it, okay? Again, their card is the fourth one, so it's this one, okay? Now I'm going to ask them to point to 4 cards, okay? Again, it doesn't matter. If they point to the top 4, I'm going to get rid of these 3. If they point to these 4, I'm going to get rid of all 4 of those, okay? If they point to, the 4 corners, let's say, I'll get rid of the middle 3. Okay. Again, it does not matter. I'm in control of whether I take them or leave them. I say point to 2. If they say these 2, I get rid of both of them. If they say these 2, I'll get rid of these 2. If they say these 2, I get rid of these 2. Now I say point to 1. If they point to this one, I get rid of this one. If they point to this one, I get rid of this one. Either way, it doesn't matter. Their card is left, and it's that. Okay. Now, that part of the card trick 21 is not mathematical like the first part. That's just a part of magic called the magician's choice. Okay, but here's a little twist that you can throw in that'll make it even stronger. This was a hint I got many years ago, which is if you have a third person who is not in on the trick, you have them come over and say, Joe Schmo over here, who doesn't know what card you chose, is going to be the one to find your card. Now, of course, that seems impossible. How could they possibly know what your card is? And now you go through the process. First, you have them point to 2 of the 3 piles. You deal out the middle card in the middle pile. And again, you give it the impression that they're the ones determining which cards stay and which cards go, right? You ask them to point to 2 cards, and it looks like they found the card and they get the credit for the trick instead of you. So that's a nice little twist that you can add, makes the trick a little bit stronger. I hope this explanation was helpful, and this gives you a couple extra tips that you can use to make the 21 trick even stronger. Thanks for watching.